Hi, my name is Jamie Elmore, and I'm with Regions Bank here in Dallas. My job is that of a consumer banking manager. Now, you may ask yourself, well, what is a consumer banking manager? Well, essentially, my job is to work and support my employees that work in 12 branches here in Dallas and Fort Worth, whose job it is every day to take care of our clients. So I spend time supporting and helping them in their efforts to do exactly that. I really enjoy what I do. And that's the reason that today I made the choice of talking to you about choosing your career and important things that you need to consider as you're preparing to make those choices. When we were all growing up, when I was growing up, a very common question is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so I imagine that that's the question that you're asking yourself. What do I want to be when I grow up? So I'd like to share some thoughts today using my story as an example of what I consider to be important points for you to think about as you're making that choice for yourself. And I want you to think of it in terms of 4 P's. So I'm going to go through those 4 P's, and then we're going to spend time talking about each one of them. So the P's for you to consider are passion, plan, process, and partner. So again, passion, plan, process, and partner. So let's talk about each one of those individually. And we're going to start first with passion. Now, when I grew up, I first wanted to be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I grew up when Roger Staubach was the quarterback for the Cowboys. Roger Staubach was my favorite player, and I wanted to be Roger Staubach. Unfortunately, that didn't really work out well for me in my career, but that didn't stop me from pursuing other passions. In the meantime, I had other things that I considered being. I wanted to be president of the United States. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a lot of things. But ultimately, I arrived at doing something, and I have now been doing it for nearly 30 years, that I have a great passion for, which is to helping people managing their money and developing a financial plan for their future. And that led me into banking, which isn't anything I really initially considered, but I developed a passion for that, an excitement for that. And one of the beauties of having a passion about what you do is that no matter what your prior day was, a good day or not a good day, you still get up the next day excited to do it because you have a great passion for it. So passion in choosing what you do is really important. And I would urge all of you to really think about the things that get you excited. What gets you excited? What gets you motivated? What makes you just eager to get up and do it every single day? Because if you can find something like that and choose that as your path for your career, you'll be in really good shape. So passion is important. The next thing that is important to consider is your plan. So once you think about what it is that you want to do, then you have to think about, well, what's it going to take for me to accomplish that? What sort of plan do I need to put together? Now, some of that plan may involve education. Now, for me as a banker, there wasn't necessarily a lot of immediate education that I had to gain before starting to work at a bank. But there's been a lot of learning that I've had to do since. And so there is a lot of education, there is a lot of preparation, there is a lot of knowledge that goes into doing what I do. That applies to a lot of things. If you want to become a doctor, there's a lot of preparation, a lot of education, a lot of things that you need to do to plan and prepare to become a doctor. You know, if you want to become an athlete, there's a lot of preparation and there's a lot of planning that goes into doing that well. So having a plan is really important. And if you want to think about preparation and plan as being interchangeable P's to that second P, either one works fine, because your preparation for doing what it is that you want to do will be essential to whether or not you ultimately are able to do it successfully. So let's move on to the third P, and that's process. Now, when you think process, think discipline. And so again, in my career, it's been really super important for me to have a process of doing what I do. And even before beginning my career, the process that I needed to follow in order to advance my career. What sort of things did I need to experience? What sort of training did I need to attend? How would I organize my time in order to be able to accomplish all those things? Because one of the most valuable resources that you have is time, One of the things that we tend to take for granted too often is time. And one of the things that sometimes we don't spend as efficiently as we should is time. So by having a process, whether it be the process that you followed in actually just choosing your career, so what are the disciplined things that you need to do? If it requires education, how do you organize yourself to do that? If you have to work and also pursue education at the same time. So for example, there are people that have become lawyers that have actually gone to law school on a part-time basis. As a matter of fact, there are part-time law schools right here in Dallas. So if somebody wants to work and go to law school at the same time, what's your process of how you're going to organize your time to do that? You know, what's your process if you wanted to become an athlete and you still have to work simultaneously while preparing to become an athlete? What's your process? So process, discipline, really, really super important. So we've covered our first 3 P's, and now we're going to come to our last P, and that last P is partner. Now, when we think about partner, when I think about partner, I think about the many, many people that I've encountered, either prior to working at a bank or during my career working in banking, who have been instrumental in helping me to become better at what I do. So that partnering, if you want to think about partnering as being like mentoring, having a mentor, having somebody that you can look up to, having somebody that you know has been successful, having somebody that you know that you can learn from, is really, really going to be essential for you as you either both pick your career and as you continue to advance in your career. I've been very fortunate over the course of my career to have many wonderful partners. And I have many wonderful partners even now at Regions Bank. People I learn from every day, people who I can ask questions of so I can better understand what they do and how they do that. One of the very important parts of being successful doing anything is being prepared to ask questions and being prepared to learn. Oftentimes when folks struggle being successful, it's because they either don't take the time to do that or they assume that they're a lot more prepared and know a lot more than maybe they do. I've always understood in the course of my career that having good partners that I can learn from was going to be essential and continues to be essential. Even after, again, nearly 30 years, I still learn new things all the time, and I learn a lot of that by having good partners, good mentors, good people that I can turn to, ask questions, better understand what it is that they do, how they're successful, and how I can incorporate that in what I do. So both in choosing your career and then following that path, I would really urge you to keep those 4 P's that we talked about in mind. Passion. Pick something that you're excited about. Be excited about what you do every day. I'm very excited to get up every day to do what I do. And that's the reason why I know I've made a good choice, is because it excites me and I have a passion for it. Number 2, what's your plan? So once you pick something you want to do, then you have to have a plan to be successful. No group, no organization, no sports team can go into doing anything and expect to accomplish anything without having a plan. And even if that plan changes, which it will, still having that plan to start is essential. So again, plan, and we could say either plan preparation. Process. What's the process that you're going to follow? What's the discipline that you're going to create for yourself, both in pursuing the career that you want to pursue, and then once you begin actually doing it, what's the process you're going to follow to continue to get better and improve at doing it every single day? Having a discipline and having process is essential to being successful doing anything. And then finally, partner. How are you going to take advantage of the great knowledge and the great learning that others have done before you so that you can profit from their experience? And again, I can say very candidly, I've been fortunate in my career to have many wonderful partners who have made it easier for me to learn what I do and how I can do it better. So I hope that you really take to heart the 4 P's that we talked about today, both as you make decisions about what you want to be when you grow up, and then as you're becoming that, how you can be the very best that you can be at it. And I'll conclude by just giving you 3 final thoughts that I hope will make it easier for you as you begin that journey. Keep believing. Have belief that you can do anything that you want to do. Keep working. Nothing at all is ever accomplished without hard, diligent work. And then keep the faith. Oftentimes, as you're going through your career, you'll have struggles and you'll have some down times. But if you keep the faith, if you keep that belief, if you keep that passion and keep that fire cultivated that ultimately caused you to pick your career in the first place, you'll be wonderfully successful. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share these thoughts with you today, and I really hope that this helps you as you begin choosing your career and your path in life.